What's up, fellow officers on YouTube? I hope you're all trolling well, and in this video I want to watch something with you. It's called Top 5 Characters That Definitely Won't Be in Tekken 8, and it's a video from the main man stream. I tried to make a video about that earlier on stream. I was watching the video live with my viewers on Twitch, but after ending the stream I realized that the video is not good enough. Because you could barely hear the main man's voice. And due to my respect to the main man, I want to try it again now. And I want to make a better video out of it. Also, people always come to my stream and they ask me if I think that Lei is gonna make it to Tekken 8. And I always answer with yes. So this is the perfect time to explain my point of view. But first of all, let's see what main man has to say about this.
What's up guys, Main Man Sui here, hoping you're all doing awesome as always, and welcome to a pretty cool video. I'm going to talk about the top 5 characters I think, personally, will not make it to Tekken 8. Lei Wulong is going to be one of them. So obviously this is going to be based upon my own subjective opinion, but we also have some objective data on this, like for example the character usage data, just how popular is this particular character.
So the big question is, does the usage data really say so much about how popular a character is? These are two different things. Just because not a lot of people play Lei, it doesn't mean that Lei isn't appreciated by the community. I know that a lot of people hate on Lei because of the gimmicky matchup and stuff like that, but speaking for myself, I want to see certain characters in the game. I want to see Yoshi, I want to play against Yoshi. Playing against Yoshi with Lei, oh, this is one hell of a matchup. It's so much fun. I know that some people can't understand this, but certain characters make the game special. They make them fun. You have to learn them, of course. It's gonna be hard at the beginning, but it's more interesting, speaking for myself, than playing against boring characters that are just top tier tournament characters. So, yeah.
That obviously is going to affect their chances of making it to the next game. We've seen that historically. Although some characters do seem to have plot armor when it comes to this, like Kuma. Kuma and Panda always have the lowest pick rates in just about any Tekken game, but they always make it to the next game. And this is because, as we know, the developers really love certain characters.
It's not just that they love certain characters. It's also that the devs love Tekken as a whole. They love the game, they love the community. And if they think that a certain character represents the brand well, they will include them in the roster. And I feel like there was some trouble with Lei in Tekken 7, because Tekken 7 was meant to be beginner friendly, obviously. This is so obvious with Katarina, Noctis, characters like that. And does Lei really fit in that roster? This is the question. I don't want to say he's hard to play, because obviously there are different views on that, but he's definitely different than Katarina. He's more than just pressing 4 and 3, stuff like that. So this is one issue. It's not only the usage rate. This is one issue.
Like Kuma, no matter how much we just neglect him, they will add him, and certain characters are always god tier no matter what. I'm looking at you, Steve Fox and Devil Jin.
He's definitely not looking at Lei. It looks like he's looking at Lei, but he's not speaking about Lei because he's garbage tier. Maybe not garbage, he's low tier, he's barely working, you can say. He's barely working. He has some terrible hitbox issues. But I don't want to talk about that too much now.
The worst perpetrators of, robbing the strengths of every other character in the game and taking it for themselves, never ever below S tier.
Speaking about S tier, so there's another issue now. If you take a look at other games like League of Legends, people always use the characters that got buffed in the last patch. And of course, it's smart, they are strong. And obviously, the usage rate increases because of that. Lei, he doesn't attract tier whores. So the usage rate, only character loyalists play characters like that. Yoshimitsu, Lei, Bears. You don't see any tier horror playing Lei. You don't see that very often.
Basically. So, without further ado, I will be looking at character usage data, how they fare in tiers, overall, you know, reception of the community. And again, my opinion, my analysis, top 5 characters we will not be seeing in Tekken 8. And first on the list is Lei Wulong. And this could be a shock, you know, because when he wasn't in the launch version of Tekken 7, everyone was so surprised. I mean, it's Lei. Classic character, a million stances.
I like how he does dances. We have to work on that. Also, it is just my guess, but some people agree on that, and I think they kind of they wanted to replace Lei, and I think they replaced him with Lucky Chloe. They are kind of related. I mean, Lei having that Lucky Chloe shirt, that special throwback animation, and of course, Lei doesn't take himself seriously, and also, yeah, Chloe, obviously not so serious as a character and very much of a troll, and having that explosive damage on some setups, very comparable to Lei in some ways. But, you know, it's not an excuse to miss out on Lei, definitely not. You can't replace Lei like that.
Some of the coolest animations. Ever since Tekken 2 he's been with us. So iconic. His theme in Tekken 2 is amazing. So that was a character I thought we would never ever lose. But then comes Tekken 7 and they've removed Lei. And this was because no one ever used Lei.
Nope. This is the biggest lie. This is, if this is your main argument, this is... there are multiple things that come together why Lei was missing out in Tekken 7, but that's definitely not the reason, because yeah, so the usage rate and the character popularity, these are two different things. I actually think that Lei is very popular, and in Tekken 7 he might be more popular than he ever was, but the usage rate is still very low. So if you ask me, it's not only the usage rate that made Lei disappear in Tekken 7. I explained that earlier. It's the brand that Tekken 7 represents, beginner friendly, and it's also the balance. If you watch previous Tekken games, Tekken 6 and Tekken Tag Tournament 2, Lei was pretty damn good. He was very strong. This is a character that is very hard to balance. So the devs really need to work on that. Is it really worth to bring him in the next game? Does he fit in the roster? Is it worth the effort to balance him, try to balance him?
Even though he's so iconic and so unique, no one plays with Lei. Tekken 7 is released, and when we get Season 1, those two were guaranteed from the budget the development team got from Bandai Namco. That was the only thing we had guaranteed. Launch game and Season 1. But then the game did so well that we get an additional Season 2 and Season 3 as a bonus. And that's when they decided, okay, in Season 2 we will include Lei. We will actually have Lei in Tekken 7. So again, the only reason he made it to Tekken 7 is because the game, from out of nowhere, no one was expecting it, was a huge financial success. And also because people were screaming until Harada had to do this, you know, with his ears, on Twitter for Lei. Where is the iconic Lei? We need Lei. I can't look at the character select screen without seeing his gorgeous face.
And this is it. I mean, the devs always say that, Harada and Michael Murray. They always say, we love the game. And if the community screams, we want Lei. If they demand lame, they can't ignore that. This is it. This is a popular character. I don't get why you think that the usage rate is an argument for a character missing out on the game when he's so classic and popular.
Something feels wrong and off with Tekken 7 without his face in the character select screen. Honestly, that's what I saw people write on Twitter. So he makes it to Tekken 7, and you'd think we should all be super happy now, like, yes, after years of him being gone, we got Lei in Tekken 7, let's play him! No one did. He still has some of the worst pick rates in Tekken 7. To this day, no one uses Lei. And just as cream on top of our cream.
So, you know what that sounds like? This almost sounds like the devs brought Lei to the game, and it sounds like the community doesn't appreciate that. And you have to understand this. The community appreciates Lei. They want to see Lei, definitely. So Lei is getting a lot of support. Obviously, they wanted him in the game. And if you see events like Combo Breaker last year, there were some Lei players really rocking the tournament. You see it on Aris' channel. He has that video, America puts Lei on the map. I mean, everybody wants to see Lei, and they got him now. And we are happy. We are happy to have him around here. The usage rate will not increase by just having the character in the game. You know, there are some different things that come into that. So character loyalists will play Lei, and some people, I get a lot of messages actually from people picking up Tekken 7, and you know what? They don't start the game with Katarina, they don't start the game with Claudio or Shaheen. They just picked up the Tekken series, Tekken 7, fresh to the game, and they ask me, how do I pick up Lei? And this is where I think, is the game design really that good in the end? I mean, people are interested into deep characters they can invest some of their energy in, and they can express themselves with. And Lei is one of them. He is very interesting. I think they learned their lesson. The devs learned their lesson from characters like Leroy. Who's playing Leroy now? He's not interesting at all. They will not make that again. They will not add characters to the game again that have like that gameplay, that very easy gameplay. It's not interesting. It's just not good. It's just not interesting. It's not good for the game, I think. It's good for tournaments maybe, but definitely not for the game and the fan base.
Cake. Lei, his win-loss ratio, we also have that data, is terrible online.
Yes.
So those 5 of you who...
Lei is weak to pressure, he has bad frames, and if somebody, and this goes for a lot of players online, if somebody plays very aggressive, Lei has trouble. And guess what everybody does online? Of course Lei is gonna have trouble.
You are playing Lei, and good on you, you know, he's a pretty cool character. You're doing terribly, you're getting squished, you're getting molested online. Could be because you're all sharing that one brain cell.
This is true. This is true, by the way. We are doing headbutts all day long. We lose all our brain cells. This is true. Lei players also can't count. I have that command in my chat, !count, and it says that Lei players all do headbutts. They do massive headbutt abuse, and due to that they lost all their brain cells. And that is true. Lei players lost their brain cells. Definitely.
Sorry, couldn't help it. I'm obviously just kidding. Lei players don't have brain cells. No, they're very smart and capable guys. So yeah, I think the odds of Lei making it to Tekken 8 are very, very low. Only reason he made it to 7 is because the game did exceptionally well and people whined about him, but it turns out everyone who whined and harassed Harald and Murray on Twitter, they didn't want to play him.
This is so wrong. This is such a wrong argument. I mean, everyone was whining about Lei, but of course only the character loyalists will play him. But the other ones are they still appreciate Lei in the game. There are a lot of players, there are a lot of people in the FGC that just want Lei, they just want to have him around. They want to play against him. They want to watch his stuff. I mean, who's gonna go to YouTube and type something in the search bar, Kazumi counter hit 4 compilation, Kazumi jab hit confirm compilation, or maybe Steve best of bag 1. No one is gonna do that, no one. But in terms of Lei, if you see his kind of stuff, his dodges, his setups, people are interested into that. So the players who requested Lei but don't play him, they still like the character. They are not disappointed. They appreciate him in the game.
Because this was the shitstorm. This was the amount of people, you know, harassing on Twitter. And out of those people who wanted Lei, almost...
But this is still the amount of players who enjoy the character. They appreciate Lei.
Zilch, almost zero, actually committed to playing Lei when he was released.
Yeah, but whatever.
There is this hypocrisy there where it's like, oh god, we must have Lei, iconic. But you'll never use him.
That
you just want him to be in the game and then not use him. So in terms of, you know, the budget and the resources they have to put into and the man hours, you know, to adjust these characters, to redesign them, you know, for a new game, why bother if you're not going to play him?
So let me give you another example. You all know iMusician, the famous Yoshi player from Korea. And some guy in my stream told me once that iMusician is also playing Alisa. So if you go to iMusician's stream, you don't want to see him playing Alisa. Maybe some people. But you go to his stream for him playing Yoshimitsu. I mean, even if the usage data is low, it doesn't mean so much. You want to see the characters performing in a certain way. You want to see players playing the character and doing well with them. This is very important.
So I think the odds of Lei getting into Tekken 8 are very, very low, considering he's just not getting a push by the community. So, next character.
We don't want to talk about Eliza right now. So, maybe I got something for you. So, I did this survey like 8 months ago on my YouTube channel. And yeah, it only had like 700 votes. But it's saying that, hey, I'm just curious, what's your motivation to watch Lei videos? And as I said earlier, a huge part of people watching Lei content, Lei stuff, compilations, they are not even playing Lei. I don't play Lei but watch his stuff because it's fun. This is how it is. There's a huge part of people who just want to have Lei around. You have to understand this. The usage rate is not saying too much about the popularity of a character. So it's entirely wrong to judge just by the usage rate if somebody appears in the roster or not. And this is what happens with bears. And this should happen with Lei. Oh yeah, there's this 1% I don't like Lei. But, you know. And yeah. Another reason for me to, you know, that Lei is gonna make his comeback in Tekken 8, obviously, is this. So this is Michael Murray answering to, like, is there a season 4? And he says that if you still enter your local tournaments and support the TWT, support your favorite streamers, be nice to newcomers, and so on. That means if the community pushes something, it will happen. They will listen now. Something like Leroy Japan will never happen again, I think. If they would have listened to the community, they would have nerfed Leroy before the tournament happened. But it was a huge disaster. And after that, they nerfed him to the ground. And they learned from their mistakes, I think. They reacted pretty fast with Fakumram, with the throw break, you know. And things like that, it will happen in the future. I think that the devs now, they have to listen to the community. I think Harada once did that tweet about regretting listening to the community and their, them requesting certain characters, but they are appreciated, especially Lei. I feel like he's more appreciated than ever. I mean, if nobody cares about Lei, then how does all that happen here? Who's watching all these videos? This is it's all about Lei. There are like 20,000 people watching Lei doing cool stuff. This is a shitload of people. These aren't only Lei players. These are people who are playing different characters, and they enjoy watching Lei. So if the devs now listen to the community, and I think they do, I think it's very likely that Lei is going to be in Tekken 8. But I think about one thing that might happen to Lei. He might get a redesign, because as he is now, he might not work in future anymore. I think that he feels already in Tekken 7 he feels very old. He feels like he's not really fitting in the game, and if Lei is gonna make it to Tekken 8, they have to work on the character. Maybe give him a redesign. This is my guess on Lei. On the video from the main man, this is my point of view, and this is also my guess on Lei returning to Tekken 8. I think he will be in Tekken 8 in some way.